Hello and welcome back to BlueTube. We've literally just finished watching our away fixture against Wigan. Forgive us Blues fans, this one's going to be a little bit more unscripted as I'm sure you can understand from literally just watching the game. But we're back at it again from those two draws. It seemed like we was on a little bit of a downward slope, but I tell you what a way to fire back with a really comprehensive 3-0 win.
Absolutely chuffed with the response from Blues today. Absolutely. Well, the first 15 minutes I was just moaning, wasn't I?
You
Which
was,
is
yeah.
not like me. No, honestly, I worried for the first 15 minutes. I thought, oh my God, we're on the back foot here, and it's not going to our normal self. We couldn't put a pass together, but then we just switched on, didn't we?
Yeah.
We went 1-0 up, Alfie May, and then we just clicked on. And I know we didn't have, at half time, the possession was more in favour of them, but I just thought we had control of the game then. And at some point in the first half, I was thinking we're going to go on and score a few. And we have.
Yeah,
Three goals away from home. What a response.
Like I say, really comprehensive victory there, and it could have been more. I think you obviously say that you were a little bit trepidatious, I suppose, in the first 15 minutes, and you were moping. And I think that was to do with the starting 11 because we couldn't really make heads or tails of it. It was a little bit different, wasn't it? You had Taylor Garden-Hickman out on the left. I think Harris was occupying the centre, and then Williamson was on the right-hand side, which isn't really amongst the popular ways of doing things amongst the Blues fans. They think they should really be playing through the middle, but I thought Taylor Garden-Hickman handled himself quite well.
Chris Davis got it right today. I take my hat off to him because I was thinking, I wasn't sure what he was lining up because let's face it, the Blues app, what the formation says on there and what actually happens, two different things, isn't it?
We were looking at it as we were seeing them
Yeah.
and the way that they were lined up, and it was completely
So there's
the other way
a
around.
bit of a disjointment from Blues' point of view there, but we got an idea of what was going on, and I was worried about how he'd set up, but it just worked. Williamson on the right actually had a half decent game. There was a couple of episodes where he wasn't quite up to it, but like someone said in our comments on one of the videos the other day, these players are pretty tired, and we sort of mentioned it as well. They're a bit tired now, aren't they? But they pulled it out the bag today.
Yeah.
Alfie May. Before I get to that, I thought, and my man of the match straight
I was
away.
waiting for you to mention this.
Yeah, it's Laird.
Yeah,
and I've been waiting for him to have one of these games. He's box to box. He doesn't stop. And some of those final balls, he was involved in all 3 goals today. Put it in. I think the first one was a beautiful cross from the right-hand side in for Alfie May to finish fantastically.
Well, they were all of that same sort of ilk, weren't they?
They were. The other one was a cross where it took a couple of touches and then May finished for his second. And then the third one, exactly the same sort of thing. He's gone down the. I think there was I think it was Pate that put this diagonal cross.
I was going to
to
say,
him.
yeah. Make
and
sure
this
that
has
you speak
become,
about that.
and you've got to watch out for this with Laird. The way he takes the ball down on that right hand side on his chest sometimes.
His first touch is brilliant,
and he just lays it ready for him just to take on. And he put a fantastic cross in for Williamson, wasn't it, for the third one?
Yeah. Who took it really well, by the way. Well, all finishes took him really well.
Superb. So absolutely chuffed. And we could have gone on and got more, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, they had some good chances, and fair play to Wigan. They were no pushovers, were they? And at one point, it looked, when it was no goals, it looked like they could go on and score a few. They've had some good chances. Allsop was steady today.
Yeah.
Backline, superb. You look at our backline; they look like they've been through the wars, haven't they?
Well, we're jumping forward here, but it's the way we're just going to chop
We're
and
all
change
excited,
between
Ben.
it.
That's
Yeah,
what
it was
it
a
is.
brilliant game. But Clara once again saving
Captain Marvel,
a goal
today.
Off the line clearance.
Yeah.
Invaluable defender, isn't he?
Yeah. And Davis. I mean, Bielik was out today, obviously injured, got a knock. But them two together, playing with a flat back four. Cochrane, solid. Laird, up and down that wing, as I say. Cochrane held his own. He wasn't getting forward as much, but obviously they were sort of coming round that way to defend.
Do you know, I noticed our backline, they actually do look like warriors at the moment, don't they? You've got Ryan Allsop with a cut above his eye. You've got Clara who's got a black eye.
Yeah.
You've got Davis with a head bandage.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Cochrane with a hole in his foot.
Yeah, got a hole in his foot. You had a Laird who got hacked down at some point in that
Laird
second
took
half.
some heavy challenges today, but got back up.
Dusted himself down. Yeah.
He, like I say, he was my. If I was going to give him a score out of 10, 9 out of 10 for Laird today. I thought he had a great game and great to see because we all. Well, I'd like to think that we all knew that he got something in him, and in his motor, his engine, he doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm chuffed. He was my man of the rest, closely followed by everyone else. No, I'd like to say Clara had a great game. He was absolutely solid. Alfie May, you've got
He's
to give
got to
him
get a
credit
mention,
today.
got a brace.
Like we were saying, you put Alfie May, number 9, he's
He
going to
was going to
score
find
you
the net.
goals.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he's done today. I wished he got his hat-trick,
Yeah.
and he was close on a couple of occasions, wasn't he?
And don't get me wrong, we love our star man, Jay Stansfield, but it's good to know that we have that security that if for whatever reason we're without him, we've still got some players that can put the ball away.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that leaves us, where are we in the league now? We're back on top.
Because in the 93rd minute, the Wigan game, obviously they had the lead. They got a player sent off. I think it was a centre-back for them.
Yeah.
And at the very last second, in the
Yeah.
dying embers of the game, Blackpool
Wickham were
equalised.
winning it 1-0 with 10 men until the 93rd minute when Carl Joseph came up. I don't know what sort of goal it was, but we've just been following the Sky app, haven't we? It's like getting another result as well, isn't it? So that's put Blues top. Let's have a look. I'll put the table up, obviously, when we do the gubbins. Yeah, Blues top on 53 points, closely followed by Wickham, who have played one more than us on 24 games played. We've played 23. They're on 51 points. The goal difference is the same now, 24.
It's nice, isn't
It's
it?
looking better.
Yeah.
This is so. How different is this to last week when we was all down in the dumps?
I think that there
and
is.
we hadn't even lost.
I think there is. There was certainly an
And
element.
I'm the most guilty of it. I've got to be honest with you.
What I was about to say is there was an element, I think, of overreaction to it all. I think that we've gotten
I'm
used
good at
to
that.
this.
I'm ever so good at overreacting.
I think we need to be careful not to sort of, I suppose, become too used to like, oh, we're the big dogs, top of League One. We're just gonna, run away with everything. Nothing's gonna be a challenge. It's not. Nothing is ever so simple, and especially in football, you can have things go against you. Just because we've spent all the money doesn't necessarily guarantee that we're always going to get the results.
No,
I think it's
that's true.
easy to lose sight of that sometimes.
Yeah.
And even without that, we haven't lost for how many games now? 11 games. We only drew two against
I know.
decent opponents.
What a
Stockport are
run.
a good side.
Let's take a step back. Look at the whole thing. And
Yeah,
look at
absolutely.
this run we're on away from
Yeah.
home. Horrible conditions. It's freezing cold out there. We took 4,500 Blues fans.
Yes.
Blues, we could hear you all game. You were superb. Those away Blues fans, fantastic. Love you to bits. Taking the mick out the ref, brilliant. And just singing "Keep Right On" most of the game.
We were
Loved it.
hacked. Not to go on about the ref. I'm turning into you with that now, but I felt like we were just hacked
Catching.
to pieces again. But I suppose that's just the reality of League One, really.
Yeah, it's like it's that type of game, isn't it? But do you know what though? We was not so much in the first half of the passing game. It was a battling game on the whole, but for those spells, I mean, I think there was about 20 passes at the one point until the ref buggered it up. If you remember, it was around their box, and we were, like just playing to how we wanted to play then. And they were having the odd break, but it looked like we contained them really well. So
Well, we dug deep, didn't we?
I'll go through the stats now then. Because in the first half, I didn't write it down. But I think we were 48% possession in the first half to their 52.
Yeah, we
Obviously,
definitely had the minority in the first half.
yeah, but we just grew into the game and
Exactly. We kept pushing, kept
still
pushing,
had
kept
that
pushing.
positivity, didn't
Yeah.
we? I never thought that. Well, the first 15 minutes I was worried until we went a goal up, and then it was like, ooh, but then it got better. But overall, after 90 minutes, 55% for Blues, 45 for them. We had 7 shots to their 16. It feels like we had more, but okay.
More clinical.
Definitely.
It's what we've been crying out for, isn't it?
But we had more shots on target, 5 on target to their 4.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah. Shooting accuracy, 71% Blues, 25% for Wigan.
Oh, that's poor on their part.
Yeah, we had 2 corners. They had 4. Not going to go for throw-ins. We don't need that, do we, God? Let's have a look. Fouls committed, I don't think we committed 18 fouls. I think we were unlucky with some of them, weren't we? No red cards. We had
Even arguing on the stats now.
three yellow cards for Blues, which were a bit soft, some of them, I thought. I think Iwata got the first yellow card. I thought the first, and I thought that set a bit of an example. They only got 2 yellow cards, worth more. I think, like I say, Laird was taking chunks out of at times, wasn't he? That could have
Let's not try and wrestle ours on the referee too much.
No, I know.
We can always
Yeah.
say a few words about the referee.
No, I'm
can't
just going through what I've got written here, really. But it just makes your weekend, doesn't it?
we? It really does.
We got a nice week off now. till
Yes.
cup game next week against the Imps, isn't it? So
Lincoln, and
Yeah.
then we've got the EFL Cup clash against Swindon. We'll do our videos on that, I suppose. I really fancy us in those ones. We don't do it. Well, it depends. We won't do our predictions for that one. We'll do our own separate video talking about that one. But considering we're having a break away from the league now, it's a good time to go away, I think, with a result like that.
get a few players rested.
Yeah.
Probably have hopefully Bielik will be back. Anderson hopefully.
Yeah.
But with who we played with today that stepped in, I thought brilliantly. Like I say, Clara and Davis, their partnership together. Clara's captain, he is a captain as well, isn't he? We've got a few captains.
Nice touch at the end.
You've read my mind.
And yeah, when Duke came on, giving him the armband for the last few minutes. But I don't want to sour this because that is a real nice touch. The only thing is, and this isn't really a negative, we've won the game 3-0. But at 3-0 up, I was just thinking to myself, give him 15 minutes, get Yokoyama on and give him a little bit of a run out. He gave him 90 seconds.
And do you know what? He still looked dangerous in those 90
Still looked
seconds.
dangerous. Still got a ball in the box straight away.
Yeah.
Not the best delivery in the world, but he creates chances.
And you could see the work rate was for 90 seconds. He was darting about, and
Yeah.
the kid's really trying. I don't know. But let's focus on the positive. Well, that's a positive, isn't it? He's brought him on.
Yeah.
Duke coming on was a nice touch. I'll tell you who I wanted to mention, because I know I mentioned that Dykes hadn't really, done a lot in the games he's played, but he ran when he came on. I know he was only 20 minutes, was it, if that?
Yeah,
20
short
or
spell.
so minutes.
Had a
I
few
didn't
pop
see what's
shots
happened.
though. Dykes got himself
But
in good
he
positions.
didn't stop running, didn't got in some good positions,
Yeah.
and made a nuisance of himself. So good. It's all positive, isn't it?
It was a hearty performance from the squad today.
Yeah.
Full of spirit, I think, which
Yeah.
is something that I suppose a lot of people could feel a little bit worrisome about, considering I wouldn't call it a dive. We've only had two draws, but for our standards, I suppose a bit of a dip in form. But
Yeah.
to come back in the way that they have, it shows true character, and that's
That's what it
credit
does,
to Chris
yeah.
Davis, man management, building the team up. Look, lads, tough game today. Other end of the country, well, not the other end of the country, but far enough against Wigan, who want to push over side, and we've gone there. And we've got 3 goals.
Yeah.
It's a decent result.
And not to forget Scott Wright coming back again, came on, played a big part today, but still looked good. In fact, the way he comes forward.
And he doesn't stop running.
Oh, he doesn't, does he?
Yeah.
There was the one time where he just cut through there, the middle of the park, and looked like he was going to go all the way.
Yeah.
When he's back to full fitness, things are going to look good. As the weather gets a little bit better, we come out of this bit of a zone, things are going to look great for us.
You just reminded me of something there that I thought about as that second half oozed on. I'm hoping that from that we can grow in confidence a little bit.
Yeah.
Because seeing those sprints from Wright and a couple of other players, Leonard was brilliant when he came on. I'm
Yes,
hoping now that they're like, tell you what, we can do this, we can drive at players. Because I started to see so much more of that. I don't know if that was a confidence thing, if Chris Davis has mixed it up a bit and said, lads, I want you to really go at them this time. But sometimes you get that horseshoe, don't you, usually from the Blues, where they're just passing it around again and again. And this time, some players thought, do you know what, I'm going to take it on a bit and carry the ball, travel with the ball forward. I saw that a lot more. It was good. I mean, obviously we won 3-0. I think that's down to that. Whether that's from Chris Davis or not, it can only be a good thing.
Yeah. No, just overall, I mean, I can't praise them enough for today. Yeah, it looked, like I say, it could go either way at the start, but cream rises to the top, doesn't it? That's going to sound awful, isn't it? But it did. We showed our true class in the end, and we didn't look in any great danger. Away from home, we took loads of fans with us. We really showed what we're capable of today. In a balanced game as well, where we showed the battle inside as we have before, and that nice bit of football inside as well.
So this is going to cause some awful radio silence for a moment, but I do just want to find out how many games we've gone without a loss. So we've got the win against Wigan.
It's 10 now, isn't it? Off the top of my head.
7, 8, 9.
I couldn't name who they were exactly, but
11 games.
11 now.
11 games. Yeah.
I mean,
decent run.
Can't
discount
knock it, can you?
it.
I know we've all
absolutely not.
had a bit of a
a little bit of a wobble.
scare and a wobble, over the Christmas
These
period.
things
But
are
do you know
gonna
what? We've touching wood, we're coming out the other side fairly unscathed. I know we got a few knocks, but Lee Buchanan still feel dreadful about that
Yeah,
one.
of course. Can't forget that.
But on the whole, it's looking good. And with not that full team, not the usual starting team, we've turned it round today.
Let's make sure that we say something here, though. So people can overreact when, and there are people far worse than us, especially on social media and such, when we're not doing as well. Then there are people who can overreact on the other side of things. Oh, we're back, we're going to do this, that and the other. We've got to remember exactly we've got to just remember where we stand. We've got Exeter at home next in the league, and I don't want to go into it too much.
Do you know what I haven't said for a while?
Oh, banana skin, blimey. Well, they're 14th at the moment, so they're sort of middle of the road. I don't think you can really read into the table too much, though, can you? It doesn't really matter on where people are. When they come up against us, it is that cup final. I mean, they play completely different to the way that we do. Stockport today, they lost to Mansfield at home 2-1, didn't they? So you can never really quite call it. But I think a little bit of perspective on either side, whether it's for better or for worse, is the best way forward, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more than that. I'm just happy.
Good.
Chuffed.
And on my birthday as well.
Yes, wish Ben happy birthday.
Yeah.
16 today.
Other people might think I'm about 32.
No, what is it, 26 today? Happy birthday, Ben, officially.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's why they won. I gave Chris Davis a message. I was like, give him an extra 10%, for my birthday and that. But I think that draws us to a close.
Yeah, we're all smiling today.
Look at that beaming smile.
Makes the weekend, doesn't it, like
Absolutely.
I say? Fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let us know your thoughts, Blues fans, about the game as a whole, not just the result, but can only ever be a positive thing as well, can't it? You can't ever say, no, well, Tony knows up a 3-0 win, can you? But yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. We have really started to gain some momentum with like a community in the comments now. We're getting quite a few from you guys. And we always see them come through, sometimes from the same people, and you can tell that they're watching the video. They're starting off with a comment, and then it's like, oh, well, actually, Scott Wright did this, that, and the other. It's brilliant to see. We really appreciate you guys interacting with us.
All good comments as well.
It's brilliant.
All such worthy comments.
You've said some really lovely stuff, and we really do appreciate it. When we first started this, it was just a bit of fun, really. I mean, of course, it still is. It's just a little hobby, but you guys certainly make it much easier with comments like that. So, but if you disagree with anything that we say, we'd like to hear that too. It's all about great discussion. No, but anyway, this has gone on long enough. Take care of yourselves, Blues fans, and we will see you on the next one.